GM, everybody. Hi again. And you may have noticed, but we have yet a new set. Nounish, of course, have the awesome Noggle skateboard in the background. And of course, our Nounish hats and stuff too, because this is Nouns on the Air with myself, Optoshi, and with Sheffo, our amazing co-host. We do go live every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And we realized kind of as we were doing this process and traveling around the world that we can't necessarily say that we're going to be live at 10 a.m. every West Coast time every single time, because right now that just didn't work. And we're going to be in different parts of the world. And so I think what we're going to do instead is just make sure that you guys know Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, that's when we go live. And what you're going to have to do is actually subscribe to us. Please hit that subscribe button if you guys haven't done that yet. It means a lot to us. And you guys will get notified when we are live. So make sure you do that, because the really fun part about this whole stream is that if you guys comment, we could see your comments live. So it's almost like getting to have an awesome sit down where we check in with you and you can check in with us as well. So without further ado, let's introduce our amazing co-host, Sheffo, GM Sheffo.
GM. I just was testing the comments over here. I'll tell you, I did the GM Brazil flag.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What's good, Steven? I see that you're here too. How are you today, Sheffo?
Good. Moisturized. What is it?
Unbothered.
Unbothered and sun kissed.
Yeah, and in your own lane. I am seeing a little bit of a lag on your. I think we're good now. Make sure you're on that internet. I'm going to go over to the dual guest screen, GM chat. It's awesome to see you guys here as always. We are in Rio de Janeiro. This was a surprise experience for us, and an absolute no-brainer. I think, we'll take you through that whole process of why this has happened, but we have had an excellent time over at NFT Brazil, which was in Sao Paulo, Brazil, just a few hours away from where we are right now. And all of our friends who are from NounsBR, the sub-DAO, NounsDAO Brazil, they all, like most of them, live here in Rio. It's incredible.
Yeah, they do. There's, I would say, like 80% of the people that we met were actually from Rio, and the other 20 were Sao Paulo or other parts of the country.
And I feel like too, like during the conference itself, which again, we will wrap up here. And, we ended with you guys last week on day 2. There was a whole third day and just a few days after that of people continuing to connect.
Incrível.
Oh, is that how you say it?
It's close.
It's close. That's like the one word you've been practicing a lot. Yeah, we really want to learn Portuguese. That is on the list.
I meant to have the Duolingo.
Duolingo.
See what I'm saying? Like
Duolingo.
Yeah, see? Like, there you go. But I feel like they could be a great sponsor.
Yeah, I do too.
But it wouldn't have to be like, it would be like all lingo, not just Duolingo.
Yeah, not just two. I actually think that's a great idea. I have it on my phone right now, and I'm trying to learn Portuguese. It is a beautiful language.
Yeah.
It feels like a combination, how we said, of like French, Italian, and Spanish all in one beautiful little sound.
It's not a little sound.
It's not a little sound.
It's a big sound.
It's like a song, Yeah,
I heard the song last night. Early in the morning hours, as our friends were leaving. We heard them out in the streets, just continuing to have a great time. No, it really is a beautiful language.
Well, I guess let's start like with NFT Brazil and sort of like closing that whole event out. It was incredible. For the last stream, we went over photos and videos everybody took. Let's say, like, Sheffo, what is your like number one takeaway from the event, do you think?
The amount of young people. Mm-hmm. Relatively speaking, it felt like an investment in the future.
That is so true. What was your favorite sort of interaction with a person or a group of people?
I mean, I enjoyed the speech that we gave together. I thought that was captivating and authentic. I think, like, from an arts standpoint, watching our friend Jose and Bob paint,
yes,
as well as
you have to tell them about this, because like
bidding.
I didn't post videos from this yet. Maybe you guys saw it in a recap from JP or from one of the artists that was there, but
I have
we
a
should,
lot of footage of this.
we
It'll
should
be
tell
really
this
good.
story.
Yeah. So
I'm going to go to you first while you do this.
So Jose is a known artist in Rio, and they do amazing murals as well as other art. This is theirs, correct, Abtoshi?
I think so.
The bag?
I don't know. Maybe chat can help me. I see your phone
Maybe
there in the screen.
This is beautiful either way. So whoever made this, amazing. But I do think this is his. But yeah, he's like a cool artist here. I think he does all sorts of other stuff like music as well. So I won't put him in a box. But yeah, pretty much they had organized a live painting at the end of the day, and they put out like a folding table, and he brought out all his paints. He had all his paints out. They had a canvas, probably, I don't know, like this big, up on this thing, and he was just painting there live with music. He gave this very impassioned speech in the beginning of it. There was probably a crowd, of like 30 people, and then it grew to like 50 or something like this, and people were taking pictures. I was filming, and it was unbelievable. It was amazing, and they were doing a live bidding on the item in Ethereum. So it was like a live crypto bid on art. That was super interesting. And all that happened. I did actually win the painting, and I sweetened the pot with 2 food nouns. So I have done the transactions, and we have a new member of the DAO. So that's extremely exciting. We're extremely excited about that. And then, like, all that happened, and I thought it was kind of like that was the end of it. And then someone started whispering, "Hey, wait a second, Bob Burnquist is going to paint a painting in the same way." It's like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. Bob had been really busy the whole event. He's, usually getting like quite a bit of attention when he's out and about during the event. And so for him to kind of just like have that for himself and everyone at the end of the event was amazing. We filmed that as well. Bob painted a gorgeous picture. It's like these spheres with these little like tentacle sphere things. He signed it in the corner. And and Jose's has huge noggles on it, similar to these large red ones. But
We will definitely post those.
it was incredible, and I bid on that one, and I won that one. I mean, like, I wasn't like planning on winning. I was just bidding, and I think I got that one for 0.15 and 2 food nouns as well. So Bob Burnquist is also now a holder of food nouns, and hopefully will help the DAO figure out cool things to. I would love to like branch with NARS. I really see like food nouns and NARS having like a great partnership together in the future and ongoing. And so I just thought that would be a cool way to do the bidding. But the paintings are they're going to stay in Rio for a few months while we finish traveling. Let the paint dry, and they'll probably, I think, be at JP's house, and at some point in time, we'll send them to wherever we end up and enjoy them. But also, we're going to mint them, Abtoshi. I'm super into this minting thing now. Gammy's kind of inspired that a lot. We see this, in different groups within the DAO. But yes, we're going to do a mint, and that mint will 50% go to NounsDAO and 50% go to food nouns, and that'll be really exciting, and I think an interesting way to use community-created art for community treasuries. And really, that was an overwhelming experience, and I have the whole thing on tape. At one point, Bob Burnquist grabbed my camera, and he was filming me. That was like super meta and surreal. So, yeah, that was a wild way to end the conference, and kind of extremely special. Made a lot of amazing content.
Dude, the best, there was a couple of amazing things with this story of the live art, but one, I didn't know Bob Burnquist was such a great artist.
Neither did I.
Yeah, he had a whole wall there.
He had like
of
a
murals.
ton of paints. He had this huge painter's duffel bag. He like opened it up. He probably had like 100 different color spray cans. He was piddling through them and stuff. Like, yeah, he's very authentic street artist, Bob Burnquist.
Yes, and he had a bunch of skateboards there. I did a post about those.
The skateboards were incredible.
So cool. And different like designs on the
Yeah.
skateboard, which is why the skateboard behind me, I'll just like go out really quick so you can see just in the little corner over there.
Our buddy Vlad was
Vlad.
talking about that last night. He said that that's like an old school board brand here in Brazil called Anti-Action.
No, not that. The actual Noggle board that was behind me.
The Noggle board.
Yeah,
oh,
so
I see that one.
That was from Vlad, so that's awesome. But
That Noggle board, Vlad wanted to leave here because he was on his motorcycle. And he was like, "Can I leave the Noggle board here?" And I was like, "Of course you can leave the Noggle board
yes,
here."
forever.
But it was like right in the hallway, so I was like, "We're gonna kill ourselves." And so you found a great place for it over there.
It was really cool to see Bob do boards like that, different types of boards like with these incredible bird beaks on them. So he's doing the live art, and the bidding for this art was happening on a clipboard with like a line down the middle, being like, the two different paintings over here, and then you wrote your name and
In
then
like a big Sharpie marker, and I couldn't even like get my letters right.
Yeah, it was so cool,
Yeah.
and we were all kind of like looking around at each other and just like laughing hysterically of like, oh my god, we love crypto, and we're teaching people about crypto, and like look at this archaic, amazing, hilarious way that we're all bidding. But it ended up working out. Right afterwards, wallet addresses were exchanged, and we were able to send those amounts and get the live painting. And I do like, as a bonus to getting the live art done, I love the idea of doing an open edition. I love that because communities are going to benefit from that, and like maybe they're whitelisted as well. So
Do you think it should be an open edition or a limited edition? We could still do like the allow list thing, but like should it be like keep it limited, like 50 of each, 100 of each? I mean, the open edition thing conceptually is cool because then if it is something that people want to have, then and there is excitement and demand for it, then obviously it can become a great like fundraising item. But yeah, like limited edition is also very cool. We'll have to think about that. Maybe we'll get some artist feedback. We'll see what Jose thinks.
Yeah, or feedback from the NARS community or Food Nouns community or both.
Yeah.
The other, this was like one activation we're talking about.
I was gonna say, what was your favorite activation?
Well, it's crazy because
it's a hard question.
This was on the last day, and if you can imagine how amazing that one live art activation was, where he's literally there. We have videos of him painting the noggles with spray paint. They're so good. It's like perfect little squares for the noggles. There's noggles, nouns, BR stickers on every single one of the spray paint cans.
Yeah,
There's noggles on where the art is, and like it just like was such a nounish experience. And there was activations like that and speeches about nouns all throughout the conference. If you guys go to my Instagram at OTGWTF, we're posting everything from like traveling there and some clips from the podcast. But please go to the Instagram. We're trying to build it up because we realized after being here and doing the presentation that everybody has Instagram here, and they have like Twitter because they have to, but no one's really interacting on Twitter. They all interact and are supporting each other on Instagram. And I'm telling you that like,
I think I'm going to be having one of those delicious caipirinha. I just totally didn't get that right. I'm sorry, guys. One of those delicious rum drinks that are famous here, and I'll just be doing my Instagram because
we have to build the Instagram. It's so important.
It has to. It's so important. And, South America and Brazil is not the only place like that we've experienced that. We definitely, a lot of the French people as well were pretty much heavier on Instagram than other platforms.
Well, and I'm seeing like why, right? So on Twitter, you can retweet someone's statement, but it doesn't get a lot of traction.
It has less personality on Twitter in a way.
Yeah, and they talk about that, like how that's like the new NFT influencers are following this one tactic where you screenshot someone's thing and then you post that image and then your statement instead of retweeting them, which is kind of crazy. So people are already losing that connection to like the actual profile. But on Instagram, someone tags you in their story, you can then add that to your story. And then like I was doing that like for the first time and like realizing how important and good that was with connecting to people. Got a ton of new followers, and I would like post someone's post to my story, and then they'd like post my story post to their story post. And it was just this like inception of us just like layering this content over and like continuing to share everything with each other. And I like hate to admit it, but like I do love the process of sharing photos and videos. Like we are finally like in an experience.
Why do you hate to admit that? What does that mean?
I don't know, because I feel like
Why,
I stopped.
like-
I deleted my Instagram like years ago because I was like,
You're
no one
supposed
wants
to
to see
love
photos
that.
of me and like what I'm doing. But like I feel like right now, like people like I want to see these photos and videos for the first time. It is the first time in my life I've been traveling so heavily and just kind of experiencing these like scenes. Like if you go to my Instagram story right now too, it's just these like 30-second really still scenes of like the water and the
Yeah.
lake here in Rio de Janeiro, and it just like something like what would I want to see if I came across, and less of like a cheesy like, hi, we're in Rio today, this is all the stuff we did, and like I can have videos like that too, but there's something about these like long little moments that are just so beautiful, and especially here in Rio de Janeiro. But we're not
No,
quite done with NFT
I saw
Brasilia
how
and
you were
Sao
doing that.
Paulo.
I liked how you were doing that. That was great.
Yes, GM chat. Who is that? Oh, A-Rod, let's go.
Let's go.
I still don't have like my chat screen up, and so it's like super small. I have to like look down on the
Steven's
computer.
in here. Great.
Let's go, guys. GM, everybody. We are just raving about you guys again and talking about how much we love Brazil. But Sao Paulo and Rio de Janeiro are very different from each other. Sao Paulo is a massive city. It is a 10x of New York. It feels huge. Like from our view from our place, just the whole 360, you're seeing massive buildings and like a mountain kind of in the back, you know? And then you come to Rio de Janeiro and it feels
I mean, Rio's
tropical.
Rio's not small.
Rio's not small, and
know.
there's a massive city part of it, but we are in the part that is made famous by that one song, "The Girl from Ipanema." We are staying in Ipanema, and the crazier part is
Panema.
Ipanema.
You kind of drop the I a little bit. I think you're supposed to.
Oh. Yeah, there's a lot of that here, where you kind of like
Ipanema.
drop, like obrigado,
Yeah.
is like brigado,
Yeah.
or like brigado. Like, but well, I'm just gonna say it like a tourist, okay, guys? Don't make fun of me.
Last night, when people were leaving, I was like, all right, tell me, a cool way to say goodbye. And they started saying like 15 different ways to say goodbye. It was hilarious. And I tried to learn one of them, but it was pretty late. And then all of a sudden, like as they were kind of like leaving and the door was closing, I said, ciao. And like everyone from the hallway goes, ciao. And I think I even surprised myself that it like kind of like came out
That's the easy one.
naturally. But yeah, at least that one, is deep in there.
Dude, it's gorgeous here. And again, this opportunity wouldn't have been available to us. And we kind of wouldn't have thought about it without, honestly, and like shout out to you, Ricky. So a new friend that we had met at the conference during one of the days, I want to say day 2, like after our live stream. I think that was definitely the day. Or maybe the end day. Like he had said he had this project he really wanted to talk about after hearing the Nouns talk that me and Sheffo did. And we were talking outside, and it ended up becoming like this whole thing. Like we really were talking about this project, and it included a surfer named Sonny Pires, a kid. He's 17 here in Brazil. He's super talented. Ricky had started managing him, and he kind of said, hey, he's going to be down in Rio for a surf contest. And I was like, we just the night before had been talking with everybody saying like, should we go to Rio? Because we hadn't made like and set in stone our New York plans yet. We knew the exact dates and everything we were doing in New York, but for Tribeca Film Festival, which is an event on my list, which is something we're going to cover at the end. I have a whole slide talking about like what we might potentially do with that, because New York is a little crazy right now and covered in smoke. And I'm not even sure if we'd be able to like land there. So we're going to have to figure out timing. And we're also watching closely on the news, like Tribeca Film Festival is like kind of monitoring this, because all the red carpets for this film festival are outside. People are being told not to go outside right now. So that's another crazy whole situation that's happening. But without kind of knowing that yet, when you start traveling around and when your life is in suitcases and you're going around and meeting so many people and being in all different parts of the world, you have an intuition that starts developing, I feel like, about the travel piece. And so something just didn't kind of feel quite correct about the dates we had chosen for New York. And we were like, what do we do? And then like we realized how many people lived in Rio and that they were all going back to Rio the day that we were supposed to leave and go to New York. And so we go and the night before decide like, okay, we should just do Rio. There's so much to see here. There's Nounish artists, there's Nouns BR, like there's murals, there's skate parks with noggles, there's skaters who are in NARS.
Well,
like,
and the crazy thing is that the smoke hadn't even hit the city like on that day when we were kind of making our decision. Like it was just coming in.
But the intuition was because of another reason, because after we had made the decision that night, We show up to the event the next day. It's the first time I finally get to talk to Ricky about his idea. And he's like, oh my gosh, like, well, the surfer tells me the whole story. We're like watching all these videos on Instagram. He says he's doing a surf contest in Rio at Praina Beach.
With a noun-sponsored athlete.
With a noun-sponsored athlete. He has Noggles on his board and stuff on Wednesday, and we were about to get in Tuesday. So it ended up being like, I don't use this word often, but destiny. And yesterday we went for the entire day, the whole day. Like we got there at 8:30 and left when the sun was down for the surf competition. I've never gone to the beach
that long in my life. It was a whole beach day. It was
and a whole day of filming, because it was really cool to get this B-roll and sort of these behind the scenes of Sunny, who is doing so well and has already received funding from Nouns BR and from Nouns Small Grants. Before we go into that story and start kind of telling you guys about the surfing, maybe this is probably the best time to talk about Nouns and what Nouns actually is. We do it every single episode. This podcast, of course, would not be possible without NounsDAO. So thank you guys so much, and thank you for the holders that voted for this to happen. If you guys want to know specifically more about this proposal and how it passed, please go to nouns.wtf/vote/206. But for now, I'm just going to take you to the normal Nouns website to kind of do a little walkthrough really quick, as we always do, because this is part of the sponsorship that I just like love so much.
There's some new props, Toshi.
Okay, there's new props. There's also a new noun. There's one new noun every single day. It's auctioned off, and then all of the proceeds from that treasury go into the proceeds from the auction go into the treasury. You know, you say that statement so much when you're talking about nouns that you think it just would come out correctly. But sometimes I mess it up. So every single time an NFT is sold in the auction, all of that money goes into the treasury, which you can see on screen here. It currently has 710 Ethereum, which right now, let's check out how much that is. And $52.9 million, you guys, sitting in the Nouns treasury right now, ready to fund your creative ideas, just the same way that my proposal and creative ideas have been funded. It's the same reason Shefo is going around and documenting, and why we are able to do things like go to that surf contest and document it, because all of our equipment, like everything, has been funded in our project through NounsDAO. So I really want to encourage you guys to please reach out to us and ask questions if you have any. It is the sole reason we went to NFT Brazil. We gave a whole talk about nouns and what it is. We walked through different videos. We got to talk to the Nouns BR community, who is very involved and very nounish. And again, I'm sure throughout the episode we will cover that.
They're involved and they're very nounish, but they're also like growing their community here locally, like you're supposed to do. And last night we had some friends over and they were hanging out, and Vlad started to want to explain the DAO, and so he pulled up his phone and he had this is Nouns, the like nice clean that really nice video, and they watched that, and then after that I had my computer and I opened it and we like scrolled through the props page. I showed him our prop and we showed him different props, and it was just it was probably 10 minutes.
It's fascinating.
But within 10 minutes, they were just completely understanding of, like, there's this treasury, there's about this many ideas that have been proposed. Here's what a couple of them look like, and here's these votes. This amount of yeses, this amount of no's, this amount of yeses, this amount of no's, and it's a really straightforward concept. I think it's interesting too. We kind of tell that story repeatedly and to different types of people.
Yep.
And right now we're also getting to experience the Nouniversary Discord playing back how that happened in 4-1's mind, and Seneca.
All 9 of the Nounders
dropped the web app on everybody, just bam, and so like there was just this insane like historical kind of like group think, and here we are, however many days, months later, trying to explain it to people in different languages, with body language, with technology, with translators,
presentations,
with microphones,
personal
headsets,
talks with people.
it's incredible how many tools it does take to tell something that is simple, but also like one of the most complex, simple things that's been built yet in Web3. So super
Incredible.
fascinating, super fascinating. And each experience is also unique and also similar. So I'm just really interested in how the Brazilian community is growing within Nouns and within their local communities. I think there's a lot of lessons to be learned there.
Yes, and just like Food Nouns, Nouns BR is a Nouns sub-DAO. They have their own auction. They have about 11 ETH in their treasury, and they fund ideas as well, which is how a lot of these projects were actually funded here in Rio de Janeiro primarily. There are things happening in Sao Paulo, but you know, we've been here for 2 days, and I think we've already seen like a whole giant mural, a Nouns funded surfer, noggles on a skate park, stickers everywhere, telephone poles with noggles on them, like, and there's so much more to see, so much more that actually, like, during this live stream, you know, I'm sure there's plans going down in this awesome like Rio group chat that we have going on. Everyone has been so welcoming and so amazing that we are just like have the best new group chat basically, where we're talking about all the things that we want to do and are going to do. And today we had to say, okay, well, we have the live stream for about 2 hours. We can meet up afterwards. And JP has a massive list of awesome things for us to do. So much so that I'm like, how would we possibly do all this? But knowing these guys, like, we could run around all day and see Nouns things. I also want to just, like, before we go into that, I noticed that there are 2 new proposals up that I have not seen before. I guess one new one. We did the Mev Relay, talked about that. The looks like Prop 305 was canceled. Nouns Tennis Fam, which sounds really cool. Feature Nouns, Noggles, and Grand Slams, major tennis events, and fund upcoming athletes. I kind of love that.
Yeah.
I would love to do a similar thing for surfers, and we could talk about that later. Prop 306, S&P SD Comic Con, which I love. I love this event. Connecting a cornucopia, of creators. That looks cool. Let me click on that.
Who proposed that one?
Josh Fisher. Oh my
That's
God.
right. I remember that.
This is very cool. If you've never been to San Diego Comic Con, get your butt down there. It is so
I've never
much
been
fun.
on Toshi.
It is like probably one of the better events I've ever been to. Wow. For Comics DAO and Shark DAO multi-sig. Okay, I'm about it. Let's freaking go.
Amazing.
Love that.
What do they want to do?
Go to Comic Con.
Incredible.
I'm just going to take us off the screen here. I think the sound is on that phone because I can hear it as well. Just be careful because we do use this audio and these clips afterwards to be able to kind of not only have the live stream, but provide them as podcast episodes for you guys as well. We have a lot of creative ideas of things that we're thinking of, ways that we can clip this and into things. So there's like 20 mini episodes for every single live stream that we do, because there's only a few of you guys that are just like our dedicated, awesome followers who watch all these live streams. Shout out to you, chat. Thank you guys so much for doing that.
We have Mikey from the Aloha State.
Oh, let's go. Aloha. Mikey, what is good? We're talking about Rio de Janeiro. We have just arrived, and we actually just talked about Nouns and why their funding mechanism is so important, because we are experiencing multiple things here in Rio that have come about because of Nouns funding. So it's incredible to be here. Actually, this feels very much like Hawaii. I'm not gonna lie. Like the food, like the amazing Portuguese, like sausage and stuff, like rice, like a burger with an egg on it on rice. Like, hello, that's loco moco. You know, the scenery, if you guys look at my Instagram and stuff, looks like Hawaii. It's so beautiful. We aren't on an island, but I did hear from our new friend, Louise, our surfer, awesome friend that we also met at Sao Paulo at NFT Brazil. He says that there is a Brazilian Hawaii, and I have to get the name of that. Let me see if I can get the name of this island, but it's an island off the coast over here. So, wait, I really, really want to tell you guys what this is.
That sounds amazing, and a perfect place, Toshi, for
Fernando de
your love of both.
Noronha. Fernando de Noronha. It's its own island. It's really epic. Apparently, people are really friendly and nice, and they kind of welcome tourists, and it's a massive surfing place. So
wow, amazing.
It would be cool to get the chance to go there one day, but I'm definitely getting this like amazing Hawaiian vibes here for some reason. Even the culture feels similar to me, like the love people have for each other, family, like not just like your family unit, but like people feeling like family to you and
Yeah.
stuff. So it's just, and I know that sounds so cheesy, but you guys, we have been seriously welcomed here. Like,
We have.
I have never received this type of welcome in my life. Like, thank you guys so much. I've been like nonstop, like gushing over Brazilians, like tweeting about them. I'm like, they're beautiful inside and out, and like saying all these really nice things. But like, I promise you, I really, from the bottom of my heart, mean that. Um, it's really reawakening this sense of like what is community, like making that a question again instead of being like a statement that I'm trying to make something feel like. I know what community feels like now again, because I've gotten to experience different ways that they're showing community, and what it's really centered around is support of each other.
Are you getting verklempt?
I don't know what that means.
About to cry.
No,
Oh, because that's cute.
I was going to show you guys this. The art that I made. Look at this. Everyone just like I gave Joseph, the artist, noggles, and then he gave me this.
Yeah, that's neat. It's
Like,
really
people
good
are
on,
trading gifts. Like,
on a bag.
dude, I will wear this everywhere.
Mhm.
I'm wearing a shirt right now from them with noggles on it from NounsBR.
It's a great shirt.
I don't even know what to say. There's the Vlad skateboards in the background. Like, it's so epic and a huge lesson, I think, in if your community doesn't feel like this, where like every time you're posting or something, like people aren't just like liking it or sharing it or just taking a second to do so. You got to like maybe encourage your community or remind them that that's a very easy way to like show support to people. So thank you guys seriously for showing us support and being so welcoming. We are in Rio for an entire week. And so as of this moment, we plan to go to New York. I'm not sure if that's possible. Maybe there might be some crazy extension here. I'm not quite sure. But I do know that Rio as a city and all of the content that we're capturing of all the Nanish stuff happening here is, in my opinion, as big of an activation and a noteworthy event as a movie premiere, where we would just be going to Tribeca, of course, to spread nouns and to talk to people about nouns and attend crypto events and get the noggles into these premieres and things. And those are amazing activations. But
Of course.
being in a place where people are not only doing noun stuff, but they really understand nouns. And like just at the surf competition yesterday, people were coming up to our table asking what the noggles were and what nouns were. And everybody was explaining in Portuguese. Basically, what we explain when we cover our sponsorship with NounsDAO. They go to the website, they talk about a DAO. You can hear them say autonomous organization. It's epic to see the effort being put forth here to proliferate nouns and to educate people about this new type of system that does exist, which is a DAO that's operating and working.
Yeah, definitely. It's like a mixed effort. There's a few key people in the community, and they have a good base in their technology. They are pretty much winning the race as far as the nouns viral content goes. They've had some really strong content pieces and
GM chat.
activations. Yeah. So, I think the film festival, in Cannes, it was amazing. We have quite a bit of like follow up to do with different producers and actors and things that we met over there. And I'm sure that would be the same thing in New York. It's just pretty unfortunate what's happening in the city right now. And as of this morning, it doesn't, it's not predicted to stop in like the next few days.
Well, obviously, like, shout out to everybody that's affected by these fires, not just the smoke. So I'm from California and I understand like during wildfire season, it's just like terrible. Like whole communities get decimated. So we're really obviously very sorry about that. But, we'll enjoy our time here in Rio for now. And as we get closer to sort of having to make that decision, we will do so. And we will definitely let you guys know and keep you updated, because either way, we will be live streaming next week, either from this place again, if we're lucky enough to get to stay in Rio, or from New York, if everybody is lucky enough for these fires to kind of start settling down.
For sure. And our thoughts are definitely with our friends,
Of course.
you know.
But you guys,
and
like, honestly,
yeah.
that is a major event. You guys know from my proposal, I have what is now 20 events on there for the year that could grow. Like, we just keep finding these ways for things to grow. And of course, like when we did this proposal in January, we gave an entire year calendar. But in our proposal, we also make a statement that there can be changes made to this just based on a wide variety of things. But because of our past proposals and how we've proven that we can like do things like that, or manage a mistake happening, or manage an event canceling, or doing something like the DAO voted in with the proposal to kind of let us be in charge of making those decisions. So I think that the events that we've added have been incredible, which is like Outer Edge LA. We've now come to Rio to see like basically the most nounish city I think that exists on the planet at this point in time that we've seen in person. And who knows what else we're gonna change. The other kind of bigger change that will happen. I'm actually going to pull up the calendar here.
I think the folks in Melbourne are still going to argue for the most nounish city.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. Melbourne, of course.
Shout out Melbourne. We're competing with Burger Noun, and he's a beast.
Yes, dude.
Noun's Deli.
Of course, Melbourne is doing amazing, and I can't wait to go down there in believe October. I think that's gonna be in October. But our other big change you see on the June section of our calendar. Oh, is Devin Fest here?
Yeah.
Devin Fest, what's good? We're gonna talk about Rio. We're just gonna keep talking about Rio, but I do want to just bring this change forward here so you guys know, because it is like probably the biggest change that's happened to our calendar. We've consistently done every single event here. Nothing is canceled so far. You can see NFT Brazil was supposed to be April, did shift to June, so we were kind of on track there. We added Outer Edge LA after South by Southwest, and now we've added Rio after this NFT Brazil. But you will see NFT Toronto at the end of June, just after the Tribeca Film Festival. So that event kind of was up in the air. Shout out to Nikki G for, I believe you did everything in your power to sort of make that happen this year. I think that if not this year sometime, it's definitely going to happen next year. There's obviously a massive crypto community up in Toronto. So that will be
Toronto's
amazing
one of the
when it happens.
Fastest growing cities in the world right now.
Yes. And but this particular event is no longer happening. But the craziest thing is that the exact same weekend, it's going to be ETH Waterloo, which is an ETH global event. We got Vitalik Buterin as a keynote speaker. We got a ton of people from the Nouns community that are going to be up there. We get to see the voice of the generation again, Toady Hawk. We're so excited. And Mono and the whole squad who got funded in Nouns proposals to actually go to and do all the ETH Global events will be bringing like a whole Nounish booth there. And then fingers crossed, I'm trying to coordinate it to make this happen, but hopefully we're also going to get Noggles, paper Noggles. Thank you. And shout out Big Shot Clem in every single one of those bags at this amazing hackathon. I think there's going to be about 1,000 people there. So
amazing.
We're really excited.
I'm going to still try and hack on Tushy.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's the thing too. Like I think,
but I need help. I can't hack. I can just be part of a hack, but yeah.
Well, when I put that proposal
hopefully
through first, like a comment that I did get from someone was, well, what about hackathons? And I'm like, I don't know if I'm the best person to go to those because I have been to them and we were able to get interviews and talk to people and talk about nouns. But I'm like, is it appropriate if someone can't hack? But after speaking to Mono and seeing the opportunity there, we actually get to set up the live stream on Friday, like during the busiest part of the event there in the Nouns booth. And so for me, I haven't had that opportunity to kind of set up right there since NFT Paris. So of course that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be great to have, kind of not only replaced NFT Toronto. NFT Toronto had a little bit of a larger budget. That is what's allowed us to kind of transition and not only change the event, but so far add 2 other events because we're kind of splitting that budget out since we weren't going to do just one sponsorship at an event, which is what was outlined in the prop originally. But other than that, we have like been completely on schedule. I'm actually surprised with all of these events that they've just been like happening seamlessly. Shout out to all the NFT event coordinators out there. You guys are killing it. Web3 guests on my Instagram. I know that you helped a lot with NFT Brazil, Vlad, all of you guys, like everyone that we met who helped throw NFT Brazil. It is a lot of work putting on an event. And as you can see, sometimes it's so much work and that you need so much support that things don't end up coming through in like a certain amount of time.
It's a lot of work and it's a lot of funding. Like
It's a lot of funding. So
it's a
shout
lot
out
of
to anyone
a
that's
lot of
pulling that off.
funding for people who can raise that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, with confidence, you know, and provide a good experience, you know, manage their big budgets and all of that, manage the teams, you know,
Yep.
without controversy, you know, and the whole thing. Like it's a lot. There's a lot of people on site.
Well, and it takes a lot of time, like pre-planning.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I've had a conversation with the founder of NFT Paris. We
Yeah.
are already starting to plan ahead for what that event's going to be like next February. And I am so glad that I really pushed and fought for my proposal to have a year-long calendar.
Yeah.
Again, we had not seen something like that within Nouns proposals before. Obviously, there's the more longer-term proposals, such as the Stupid Buddy documentary, which is obviously going to take like a certain amount of time, but that's like a production proposal, and everyone knows, oh, production takes time.
Well,
And then
even
they-
if you look at things like clothing, like those are 6-9 months.
Yep.
You know, if you
My
look
other
at,
proposal was for 6 months. The one before that was for like 1 month. And so I'm really glad I pushed for the year, because truly, guys, when you have the whole year, that is when like these things happen. I can already plan for NFT Paris next year. And I'm like knowing just after coming off of like newer events that are happening right now and in this moment, I'm like already having ideas about things that will totally work in Paris, things that worked last time, and things that I want to kind of change. And so if you can give yourself enough time and have a great group to do it with, please be someone that organizes a community in this way, just like the amazing people from NFT Brazil, because I'm telling you guys, the event space alone and how everyone was able to connect, like if you can get like, this is why when OTG comes into town, a lot of times we'll throw a dinner, or if we have a little bit of a larger budget, we will like rent out a side of a restaurant for like a cocktail hour or oysters. And it's important because even if we get 45 to 50 people there, the connections people make with each other are unmeasurable, in the sense of
Well,
like we
they're-
can measure
yeah.
some things from them, but it's truly like you never know who you're gonna have at the event that's gonna like meet each other for the first time and then collaborate the exact same way that we were at NFT Brazil, met Ricky, and then ended up coming to Rio to see everybody and seeing Sunny Pires and now a surfer at a surf competition. Like
Yeah, you're not
these things
like,
just like happen constantly.
You're not going to coordinate something like that like in a random Discord without meeting someone. Like you're just not. Like you're not going to get Bob Burnquist to, you know, sit down and like share his feelings on crypto or community building.
Well, and that's yes. So the
You know,
in-person thing is so
yeah.
important, because what's crazy is after you
There's a
meet someone,
trust.
yes, there's a trust. And once it's established, you can do that.
Yeah.
I like to think of like Hash Brown, you know, like
Yeah.
when you're talking about this, like 0x Hash Brown is this awesome dude we met
Shout out Hash Brown.
IRL at
where
South
you
by
at?
Southwest, and he's like, I have a food noun. And like it was just like this serendipitous moment where we're like, oh my God, what? Like we couldn't believe we were at South by Southwest and someone had a food noun there
Yeah, that
at
was
this
amazing.
event. And so anyway, so we ended up like talking, and obviously Sheffo, you connected with him like in person, this trust is formed. And now like you can do things like kind of just DM him on Discord and say like, hey, I had an idea about this. What do you
Yeah.
think? And so once you've had that IRL trust established, the value is what that provides for you, like in these connections, I'm sorry, for forever,
Yeah.
you know, every day forever, as the announce would say. Also, GM Malcolm, I see you in the chat. It is so good to see you
What's
here.
up?
I promise I'm not freaking ignoring you. The time changes and us being in random places all the time mostly affects my ability to communicate with others who aren't directly with me, because I think that where I need to probably find the balance is I'm taking all of this value from the IRL, but I need to really maintain these connections with people online who I have yet to meet IRL, but desperately, desperately want to, because there are times when you're really working with someone or seeing the content that they're creating and all the work that they're putting in, that you can make that trust connection. So I
Yeah.
do feel like we have that with you, Malcolm. We're so excited to see all of the OTG interviews you've been doing in the streets. And I am going to find some way to like make this happen. Be it starting with just like getting you on here one day and sort of talking about your story and like what inspires you about nouns, because that's honestly the question that we ask people when we meet them, IRL. It would be really cool once we do start getting guests on here, basically kind of just like, yeah, getting the IRL experience. We'll all see each other, look each other in the eye. Me and Shefa are obviously very doxed and kind of recognized now when we go out. We're always together and we're always in Noun stuff. So we're a little bit hard to miss. But again, because of this proposal and like what it's allowed us to do, these are things like we love doing. I love doing these live streams with you guys. We love going around and filming, and we really want to not only tell this big, long feature film story of this documentary about what this whole prop has been like and what it feels like traveling around and talking about crypto and in a DAO, we really want to, um, you know, make it known that like we are other people, like we are things outside of nouns. You know, we have our own hobbies. We talk about this a lot with people too, and we definitely talked about it last night in the car, but we do have our own hobbies, but like this is like things that we love. Like getting to watch Shefo like film and like, you know, it's hard. You don't like necessarily always go back and immediately watch all the shots, but when you do, like there's these magical moments that you're like, oh my God, like how did you capture that? That's incredible. And I know it's because like Shefo has a great eye and like is into film. And then I love the live stream because I just love talking apparently, which is why I also love going to these events. And I'm the perfect sort of like type of personality to be an ambassador because I'm just like nonstop talking to people about all of these things. Nonstop talking to people about like if they're already in nouns, like how can we collab? I'm like already thinking about how we can do some type of proposal for Sonny Pires, the surfer, to continue his surf, you know, competition whole vibe for this year and to keep that going. If we meet in person and you tell me that you're interested in nouns and want to find a way to do something, like I'm going to be thinking about that at night when we're not streaming, like while we're streaming, I'm already like brainstorming right now, like what's something that we could do. So as much as we pour this stuff into like our own content, what's not really seen a lot behind the camera is all of the time that we really give with other people in brainstorming things that can come into nouns. And so we want to maintain that. We want to make sure we're always kind of this open doorway. And then if there's any moment in time where we're just kind of have, you know, a hectic week with editing or there's a ton of events and we're filming, sometimes we have a little bit more of down weeks. Definitely in about a month, our massive traveling schedule is going to take a slight pause before Burning Man. Burning Man, of course, is going to need a lot more planning than all the other events. Yes, but exactly. In Sao Paulo, we got to meet someone, and hopefully we're going to be able to join their camp at Burning Man. There was a lot of like alignment there, and another whole thing of that intuition that sort of happens because Burning Man, I was like, well, I know that we could just like go and have our own camp, but I really want to have the full blown experience with a camp because you want to be a part of a community. We preach it all the time. Like it'd just be so silly to not go with one. But I was just like having this feeling like, okay, well, something's going to happen. We're going to meet someone. Like we're surrounded by people who have similar interests. Like I know someone's going to be a burner and a Burning Man person. Lo and behold, Sao Paulo, Brazil made that connection as well. So just a constant reminder.
Yeah, that's wild.
We obviously are in a position where we have been DAO funded to do this. And so we are very grateful for that opportunity. But if any time, you know, in your own town an event comes, like really push yourself to go to it. Like if any time a friend of yours is like, hey, if you can make it to this one event, like I will split a place with you, or like you can flat out stay at my mom's house over there, please go. Like force yourself to like break out of your comfort zone to show up to these places because you probably are going to have a lot in common with the people who are at these places, more than you might even imagine. And that's where all the sort of magicness happens, such as the amazing magic that we have experienced so far in Brazil.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, we are still post, you know, COVID world. And we all kind of took this weird pause. And now these events are some of the first events that people have gone to. They are bringing people from around the world.
Yep.
You know, people are traveling confidently and all of that. And that is really special. And it was something that was lost temporarily. And it's interesting that COVID was also one of the things that accelerated crypto and NFTs because people were home and they were doing that. And we saw a lot of crypto come out of that time. And now we're kind of seeing the new communities actually being communities based on some of the projects that came out of that time when we couldn't be a community.
So true. And I think like it's brought up quite often in people's talks at these conferences of everyone kind of relating to like, hey guys, like we all kind of were stuck inside for a little bit. A lot of people's like backstories of how they got into Web3 is because they were stuck inside during COVID.
Yeah.
You know, so there's a lot going on there, but I do agree that we, as much as like we're coming out of it, we are definitely entering like this new territory of people being a little bit more grateful, I think, when they do get to like go outside, because it was pretty scary when that wasn't happening. And we've heard some stories, you know, of people who really weren't able to a lot during those years. I feel like I definitely like pushed the envelope with like probably how much I went outside, but I feel like, I don't know, like maybe I shouldn't have been as fearless as that. But the whole point being is like we are entering this new place now in this new time where hopefully, you know, all of that terrifying like scariness is behind us. It does feel more involved now. I didn't even feel, I think like Brazil did a great job about, I'm gonna have to charge my computer, about keeping like everybody
Yeah, one sec.
safe. I don't want to say that I know about the COVID like epidemic and how that was here, but it seems like no one was really sick here. Oh, it's fine. I'll just bring it over to myself right here. We had this like really awesome like studio set up too, by the way. We finally like figured it out where we can be across from each other and like actually look at each other while we're talking in the camera. So, you know, chat, that we always update you guys with all of the things that we're doing to sort of make this stream a little bit better for you guys. My computer is definitely going to die though immediately. I'm so sorry. He's like, I will charge it, and then gets up and like walks away. Thank you. Thank you so much. We are just coming around to about the first end of the hour with you guys. Of course, we have a lot to do today. We have a lot to do today, IRL in Rio. We have a massive freaking list of things to see, people to hang out with, and things to do. And a lot of those things are very, very Nounish, probably all of them, because they involve people that are going to be dressed like Nouns, just like me, with my awesome Nouns BR shirt. I really can't highlight enough like how amazing it's been to be here with the Brazilian community, more specifically the Nounish Brazilian community. You guys are out of control, awesome in all of the best ways, and I feel like I'm learning so much about how we can continue forward with our own proposal, with seeing how you guys do activations and do everything too. So I'm gonna bring you right back in here, Chevo. I do see that you have your noggles on. Those are actually JP's noggles. JP, I owe you those noggles, but you didn't come around last night, so you just didn't get to get them back right away. Yeah. But we were using those at the surf contest and taking tons of photos in them. Of course, shout out Big Shot Clim. Your noggles are everywhere, all around the world, and people really love them.
They are. They're going to be going to the skate park later.
Yes. What are we doing at the skate park?
Oh. Do I have to spoil the surprise?
No, actually, no, don't.
Okay.
I guess you're going to have to tune in, chat, to see what happens at the skate park today, but I kind of have some idea. Also, there's this amazing like glow coming in like behind you, but
It's
I do know
rather
this is
warm.
probably hot. I know, I was just going to say it. It looks so hot. I am so hot right now. Like, that is the other thing about Rio. It is hot here, like, but it's kind of the first time that I haven't had to like wear a jacket, and it feels freaking amazing. I was trying to remember like when the last time that was. Don't you feel like the last like winter and like everything that we've been through has been so freaking cold?
There's been some cold spots for sure.
Cold spots. There's been snow. Then we went to Europe and it was freaking cold. And then it was raining in other places.
It was finally warm. It was warm in the south of France.
Yes. Okay, that is true. That is the first place that I kind of noticed. Like, oh my God, I get to wear shorts. Yep. This is crazy. We're feeling that right now. We're feeling the heat of this amazing cloudless sky. There's this like gorgeous, like hazy, sunny glow onto everything. I'm literally looking out at sailboats over the lake, like just how in Con we were looking out at the other boats there. It's so crazy too, because as you kind of go around, you realize like there's these little things that cities do that are so similar to each other,
Yeah, of course.
in addition to all of the things that happen that are just completely different. But this is a unique, special city for sure. And again, we've had like the best welcoming party here. I'm really excited to go to the skate park, of course, see some tricks on this Noggle skateboard I got behind me.
Yep, Vlad is working on a trick that he wants to land. We have the Noggle board, which is supposedly pretty difficult to skate, but there will be some tricks on the Noggle board. We have a surprise planned, and you
Ooh.
know who else? Who knows what else the skate park will bring? But
And
should
we
be a
also have
fun day.
another surprise happening Saturday. I will not be telling you guys about that. We might have to like move the stream time to make this surprise happen. So just roll with us if we got to do that.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a huge deal. It's going to be OTG sponsored and funded, which is so freaking cool. And it's going to be hopefully our little piece of something that we get to leave with Brazil when we leave this amazing place. I do want to come back. I know we kind of say this and like probably often like in towns like I know in Colin we're like we could live here, right? Of course south of France is beautiful, but there's something about this place that just feels so like calming, nice and amazing and just warm and welcome and fuzzy inside. Makes me feel like
Yeah, it feels really like livable as well. Yeah, for
the food is incredible.
just the people are so nice, and there's something I don't know. There's something that I need about that. Like, there's beautiful places, but sometimes in beautiful places, you know, you can still be like isolated or not fully getting all of that community that you need.
Yep.
And I do not think that's the case here. As I was going to bed last night, listening to the crew sing their way down the street, that it just really hits you. You're like, oh my gosh, like I would have like 800 friends within the first 2 weeks of being here. And there's something fascinating about that.
And the Nouns experiences we're creating, like obviously we feel very fortunate. Again, if you want to know more about how we were able to make that happen with our proposal and how we were able to get budgets to sort of make this stuff happen, nouns.wtf/vote/206 is going to be the place you're going to want to go. That's where you're going to see the Nouns on the Ground proposal for all of 2023, this big 1-year proposal that we did. You can see the budgets that we set aside for certain events. We've gone over a little bit of how those events have slightly tweaked, but for the most part, those events have been solid. We've been doing all of them. We've actually been going above and beyond and adding some. And so it's been really incredible. And then there you can also see the whole calendar to see like where we're going to be next. Or the easier way to do that is just to tune in and subscribe to our live stream because we kind of are always in a different spot. So I really just wanted to comment on that. I love our set.
I think this might
time
be a top.
Yeah, I'm like the luscious green plants.
You
like
look
the
gorgeous.
Sun. You look gorgeous.
Wow.
You literally have this like glow on you. The Christ the Redeemer statue is over there. So maybe that's just what's happening.
I'm
Got this, like,
facing.
glowy light.
I'm facing the same direction as the statue faces right now.
Ooh.
So this would be the same angle that it hits the statue. Wow, amazing.
That's cool, dude. Mountains, luscious
Speaking
palm
of the
trees.
Portuguese Jesus, we got to hang out with our friend Akba, and
We love Aqua. Oh,
we got to see him with his long hair, and I swear to God, he should have been in like a Hollywood movie.
Dude, we love Aqua. Shout out to you. I know you're at NFC Lisbon with so many other people right now. So that's actually like sometimes like during the events list, as much as like we're following our events, there have been a few times where there's an event happening that I'm like, damn. Like maybe we should add that to the list. Like obviously we couldn't come to Rio if we went to NFC Lisbon, but
he dipped out to go to Portugal, and
it's
you
amazing.
can't really FUD someone for that.
Dude,
like if you're gonna dip out,
everybody's there right now for
Crypto
Crypto Twitter.
Yeah.
Everybody's in Lisbon. We get to go to Lisbon at the end of the year for, I think it's called Decentralized 2023. Oh, no, that's the Greece one. Let me see. Hold on. The Web Summit. The Web Summit is going to be in November in Lisbon. So we do get to go to Portugal. So that's why we're going to have to maintain our Portuguese. I know it sounds a little bit different over there. It's a different style. But
Got to start somewhere.
NFC Lisbon looks and sounds amazing. Our friends from Uniquely are also there, I saw, which means that like everybody's there from crypto Twitter. I saw Farouk was speaking. Like a bunch of people that you typically see at these like larger NFT crypto events are there. So tons of friends and awesome things in NFC Lisbon. I can't wait to see like all the posts that you guys share. I really want to see what's going down there. In hindsight, I kind of like wish that that was potentially an event on our list, but again, this intuition happened when we were creating this calendar, and
In reality,
it kind of didn't happen. And it's a good thing because we got to spend this time in Rio.
there's a lot of events now.
There's so many
and there's
events.
been this fervor around the world, and
And you can't go to all of them.
you can't go to all of them. And that when I say you shouldn't go to all of them, like we need multiple teams traveling in the
Yes.
world. Like I don't know
I hear
why that would be hard for someone to say, but yeah, like talented ambassadors traveling the world, talking about the DAO and capturing it. Like for me,
It
and
has
for
to happen everywhere so that we like nouns
Exactly.
can be at every single event.
exactly, I think that's kind of what I'm saying. And we really can only speak about ourselves, and we can't predict the future or tell anyone what they should be doing. But I would think that we'll probably see stuff like that. But as far as our thing and OTG, like I think that coming back to certain events would be amazing, and going to different events would also be amazing. And I think that that's part of the value
And
of
discovering that.
of the investment is the unique firsthand discovery of that. That is hard to quantify, but also very important. And that's one of the things that I'm like proud of, is that we do get to help kind of do that and give that feedback. And hopefully even this podcast is part of that,
Well, and we get the opportunity to highlight these communities.
Yeah.
Like that's why going to the surf competition was so important, because like, hey, if nouns are out there and sponsoring a 17-year-old surfer from Brazil who everyone is saying like they super support here, okay, well, can we tell that story? Like we should probably tell that story. It's the same reason why Nounish is so valuable to nouns, because they highlight certain builders and tell a story about a person. And it matters because
we were looking last night at Vlad was like, pull up Nounish's prop, and we were looking at it, and the some of the top ones that they use in their spreadsheet for view count are Brazilian content.
oh yeah,
Yeah, like there's at least like 3 or 4
Soitake,
of the top videos are Brazilian content.
JP, the
Yeah.
first person in nouns to go viral on TikTok with
Yeah.
millions of views on his videos. Like, it's really important to keep saying these things over and over again, because if there's one thing I learned from this event, it's that the Brazilian community, in my opinion, since we've been running around with nouns since last June, last year's June, which is, oh my God, it's June right now. Okay, it's been a year, you guys. That's insane. I learned about nouns last April, but like the fact that we've actually been on the ground for a year already really shows you guys like we've now come like full circle. That's insane to me, and kind of crazy because like if we do go back to Tribeca, we'll be in New York again in June, and New York's the first place we went on the ground to for NFT NYC 2022. And so that is just absolutely tripping me out right now. But because we have been on the ground for a year, we have met so many people. I would go as far as saying, and I know you would say this too, Sheffo, that Sheffo and I have probably met more people in the nouns community and nouns holders and stuff and like founders than like anybody else. And that's because of our unique proposal that's allowing us to do this, and it's allowing us to go to different places and meet everybody.
We've met builders, noun holders,
Communities.
community founders, like fans, boyfriends, girlfriends.
But in that, like
everyone.
We now have a responsibility, kind of, in my opinion, to highlight these communities.
Of course.
To talk about these positive experiences. Because,
and we'll do the same thing when we go to Japan. We'll be gushing about Japan.
And the NounsDAO Japan.
And Sheffo will be, swearing that he'll never eat anything but sushi ever again. Like that kind of thing happens. You know, there is this
Yeah, but I think we're allowed.
romance.
We're allowed to like be stoked.
Yeah, we're supposed to be, you know, enjoying the
Yeah.
experience, and it would be counterintuitive to the goal, you know, for us to not be positive and enjoying and grateful and abundant with it, while, you know, going and onboarding and doing things like it kind of strikes me now like we're doing a few different things actually. I think the prop was written as like an onboarding prop, right? But one of the things that we're doing by default,
And like activations, like marketing.
yes, but one of the things that is happening that again may be hard to value is connecting communities.
Yes.
We're connecting communities.
Mm-hmm.
We're connecting and keeping things whole and being a part of that conversation. That is a very important conversation that needs to be continuously happening, is how do these communities work together, get to know each other, give each other strength, vote in each other's communities, show up for each other's spaces, show up for each other's podcasts, go to watch people paint, go to watch people cook or skateboard or whatever it may be. That is amazing. And I think that, yeah, it's one of these unmeasurable things that is a positive externality. It's a great thing that happens. It's like a good accident in a way.
Happy accident.
A
As
happy,
Bob,
happy accident.
what is
It's
it,
a
Bob
little,
Ross?
It's a little tree, like the one over my shoulder.
Yes, exactly.
I think that's more of a bush, but that's like a tropical bush. I think that's like the elephant plant. These leaves are the biggest leaves. The thing behind you has leaves like 3 times
It's
the size.
amazing.
I'm gonna start fanning you with one of those.
I love that. I'm desperate for a fan right now. Like it is very hot right here. Like we have
I've
like
gotten used to this. This
direct
feels good,
sunlight.
baby. I got that sauna vibe.
got that laid out lizard vibe. We are so freaking excited to be here
Can I get an air horn?
that maybe hold on.
Reach those
little-
long arms over
I'm
there.
a little
and
far
hit me with the air
from
horn.
the sounds today. We are so excited to be here.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to a skate park. What else should we do here? I really know that like there's been more people from the Brazilian community coming into not only our live streams, but into all of our social medias. And so if you are here with us for the first time, hey. If you're
What up?
here again with us, hi. We have been loving talking to all of you guys. Like, please, it could be here in the chat. It could be in DMs, anywhere. Let us know if you have an idea of something that we should definitely see while we're in Rio. We are here until at least next Monday. We got tons of time, you guys. We have a packed day on Saturday. Saturday might be a little bit hard, but if you have any ideas for tomorrow or Sunday or just like a flat out like a location or a thing
Well,
or
we
an
were
event
gonna
that we should
go
do.
do the Christ statue,
Yes.
and we were gonna do that today, but it's a holiday here, and I'm sorry I don't know the name of the holiday.
But it's apparently supposed to be very, very busy.
What's a holiday? And supposedly, yes, it's mayhem on the top of the mountain up there, and we just kind of decided to put it on another day. But for me, honestly, like, I'm very, very much looking forward to like capturing that on some kind of camera. I don't know how easy it'll be to schlep a film camera up the hill, but we will capture it. It'll be beautiful, and it's just one of the most iconic visuals, like in South America, in the Americas, and in the world.
It's actually like a monument that I never thought I'd be able to see in my life. And I don't know why I would think that or like limit myself to that.
Well, it's so
but being here is
spectacular
crazy to
and
see that.
magical, and then you see these helicopter shots, like you always see it in like movies or in advertisements or whatever, and it's that helicopter shot where they're just flying around it, and you see this statue, and then you see all the houses and the water and everything below it. But it'll be interesting to be up there where the statue is like ginormous above us, and then you still have the view as well. Noggles down.
Yeah, Noggles down.
Noggles down. We'll just leave them there.
And that's why they can't like sit on top of the thing. They have to be tucked in.
They're tough.
You got to tuck in like the road sleeve.
They didn't quite fit.
we're not breaking your knuckles, JP. We promise. They look fine to me right now. They're gonna be okay. Those things get a lot of use. There was a really cool video JP actually put out. Follow him on Twitter, with like people like putting them on and stuff.
Yeah, that was neat how I did that.
We're talking about like the Christ the Redeemer statue. Like the other cool video that came out, it's actually a new drop on That's Gnarly with 10 different skaters, and it kind of opens with the exact thing you were talking about. This like amazing view, like of this drone shot coming up over Christ the Redeemer statue. So that's gonna be really cool. I definitely want to see that. I think that's like a must see. Like it's like a bucket list item for sure. But again, chat. Anything that, if you guys have been to Brazil, if you've been to Rio de Janeiro, if you want us to go document or see anything, like that is literally what we do this entire time. We are filming, we're getting people's stories. We're trying to understand these cities that we get to come and visit for the first time. And especially since we've been so welcomed here in Brazil, it's been like a little bit easier. We do have like packed awesome schedules and like these suggestions of what we can do in our Rio group chat. But if you guys have any thoughts, let us know. We are completely open and excited to do that.
And restaurants, send them.
Oh, send the restaurants. I'm already thinking about.
I had this incredible dish last night. I
What
didn't
was
really. I didn't know what to expect. It was kind of like it said, like filet with done in the traditional Sao Paulo way. It's pretty much how it was like translated, and it had the ingredients. But it came out like it wasn't like the whole steak. It was cut up into these little tiny pieces and cooked in this gravy, and it had like white rice and this like black bean kind of puree
and this like copper like
and the guy brought it over and he did this cool thing with the fork and the spoon. He scooped the rice, and actually he put the plantains like this first on the plate, like these little like bumper bowling rails, and then he like scooped the meat like stew pretty much into the middle of it, and then he put rice on it like off to the side, and then the bean sauce was like this thin bean sauce. It was kind of like a black bean, but it was thinned out, and everything was really flavorful. And he would take it, and he had just left that there, and you would take it and kind of drizzle bean sauce, and then it had this other bowl that was like these. I think it was like a buttered breadcrumb, like a really fine buttered breadcrumb, and you would take the breadcrumbs and you'd like shake it over the top for like that little crunchiness on top.
So I didn't use those.
It was like plantains, beef, a brown sauce, white rice, bean sauce, and breadcrumbs over the top.
Oh my God.
And it was amazing, dude. It was like soft but meaty, crunchy, and you could tell that like, first of all, you could do that affordably with like, plantains that you would have. You could do that with all sorts of different cuts of beef. You could make the sauce from the pan cooking, and the breadcrumbs you could make from the bread from the day before, so you're not wasting the breadcrumbs. And you could the beans also like are kind of even like thinned out in a way so that you can like get a lot out of the beans that you're using. So it was just like this. They had done it and presented it in this kind of like elegant way where it was obviously designed to like do this thing at the table, and the waiter was really cool, older gentleman who probably had been doing it for 30 years at the same restaurant. But the dish itself was like this like affordable way of cooking it, and I appreciate that. Like I appreciate dishes that have the ability to present themselves on the world stage, but are yet also still like from the community, from the neighborhoods, from the grandmas of the world, the grandpas of the world that have been surviving and thriving for generations to bring up the next generation. And these dishes come from that like struggle of life, and it was
in tradition.
Spectacular dish. It was wonderful.
So delicious. I'm so sorry. I was like looking around. I'm like, where did I put that thing that I was going to open live on camera with the stream?
What are you opening?
I got an amazing gift at.
Oh wow! You mean our sponsor?
Yeah. Okay, you guys, we're starting to get actual sponsors. Get very excited. We are excited to introduce a new partnership that we're just forming because now we like these people and we're going to talk about them all the time. KeepKey. KeepKey.
If it's not your keys, it's not your crypto.
Ooh, I like that. It's just like a better like Ledger, honestly. I think that they're the third most popular with Ledger being the first, but we know that Ledger's been going through it a little bit lately. So
Because Ledger, Trezor, and then they're in third right now.
if you guys want to basically
looking
like
to capture some of their market share.
do you want to I'm going to open this and unbox it. Do you want to give like a little summary about like what you think your biggest takeaway was when you were learning about KeepKey?
Yeah, definitely. So I will be very careful to not put my foot in my mouth here, and I can't wait until we have Matt or any other
thank you
wonderful
so much,
person
Matt.
from the company come and talk with us. But I spent a little bit of time learning more about open source protocols for these devices, and essentially, you can see the code, and it is open to. I don't know if it's open to like build on top of. That's the thing that I'm still going to try and figure out and learn. But it's open in the sense that you can see it, you can read it, you can do whatever. And like Ledger is not. And in this last situation that they're put themselves through, they said, oh, well, we're going to be contemplating or figuring out how to do open source, and it's like they're kind of like late to that party. Similar to how like when we're with Nouns and we're talking about CC0, it's like if you're not doing that, you're late to the party. And so
exactly.
like KeepKey has been on it for a long time, and they've been doing it the right way from the beginning, and so I think that's
very cool.
one of the things I took away from it.
So KeepKey is important. It's going to be your like cold wallet storage. So a hot wallet is something like a MetaMask wallet. It's a wallet that's has a browser extension probably, which is
I think
highly,
that's there's quite a few
Rainbow Wallet
security issues with that.
Yeah, so if, basically in our industry, people say like do not have wallets that are like on your browser. There's better ways to do things because of course if your browser, your computer gets hacked, your wallet's there. And I think your keys are potentially being stored, your secret words for your wallet. So that's never a good thing. So thank you to KeepKey.
Yeah.
And these companies who are trying
How
to
does it
figure out
feel?
solutions to this. Well, I'm such like a collector person.
Did I miss the unboxing over
No.
here?
So there's like this silver sticker here. It says
Okay.
KeepKey.
Okay.
And I don't even like want to break it. That makes me just cringe, but I'm going to do it. Oh, I hate doing this.
Oh, don't be like one of these like keep the box perfect
I
people.
am a keep the box perfect person.
Get out of here.
Okay. So I just undid this. I'm just going to open this now.
Let's go.
I think I got a special red one, you guys.
Oh my goodness.
www.keepkey.com/get started.
The
Let's
red
go.
is nice. It's like a dark red.
Oh my God. By the way, the packaging I love it. I'm a big packaging person.
Nice.
Wow. Okay. I'm not going to take the plastic off yet because I'm also one of those psychos that leaves those on. This is my KeepKey, my new red KeepKey. And
Incredible.
it looks like I get to plug it right there into my computer. And just the same way that I use MetaMask to
Amazing.
send crypto, receive crypto, hold NFTs, I can do that with my KeepKey.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a heck of a lot more safe. So I cannot wait to load this baby up.
Yeah, we'll keep learning. We'll keep giving the community updates as we learn about the apps and the different ways that the software works and all that.
Okay, I'll take the plastic off just for you guys, just because it's
Yeah,
satisfying.
can I have the ASMR?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Put it in front of your mic. There you go.
Plastic rips. Here we go. Oh my gosh. I love this. So
Ooh, it
satisfying.
sounds fresh.
Crispness.
I like how it's like tightly vacuum plastic sealed
Dude,
around
this
it.
thing looks legit. I love it. The red is sick. They said it was a red one, and I was thinking like fire engine red,
Yeah,
but
I
this
was
like
too.
groovy, like crimson. Like look, it looks exactly like the Nouns Vision, like sort
Ooh,
of like.
it looks like a lipstick kind of thing or something.
Not the same vibe. That's
Yeah.
completely the same.
Yeah, very sophisticated.
Very sophisticated. Loving it.
Much less bro than I thought.
No, this is so sleek.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to explore this. Again, the website listed right here, right in the packaging. I'm just going to put my little baby back. www.keepkey.com/get started. Maybe that's where you can go to also learn about a KeepKey. If you actually want one, maybe we'll have that available on our site soon. I
And
got to reach
in
out
full
to Matt.
disclosure, we are not paid sponsors.
I am not a paid sponsor.
No,
of
this is not yet a paid sponsorship,
No,
but
no. This is
we
not
have
paid
a
at all.
KeepKey, and we're gonna learn how to use it.
This
right,
isn't paid at all. This was a gift.
Yeah.
And I actually saw Matt got to do a talk at the conference as well at NFT Brazil.
Yeah.
And Matt is the one, heavily helping with Burning Man. And Matt's been in crypto forever. And it's surrounded himself with really incredible people and is a part of community or crypto communities across the world. So I genuinely, after talking to this person for a long period of time, really got into what I was learning about with KeepKey, and then was so lucky enough to receive this amazing, beautiful gift. So thank you so much for that. I am going to do my own research and figure this out. And next time we are together, I will let you know sort of what I've found out. But KeepKey, keep your key safe with KeepKey.
Amazing. Is that the tagline, or that's just yours?
It could be.
Yeah, it could be.
It could be. It's also a great example too, because there's these great, amazing products within crypto, and there's small teams behind them, and if they're not out at conferences talking about this product, it can be pretty hard to learn about it. So I do think it's important to get to highlight people like this, and especially if they have a system that's working. Being the third best behind Ledger and Treasury is a big deal to me.
They were excited that they were given, just by the universe, whatnot, an opportunity to really drive home the great parts of their protocol. And so when you saw some of that stuff happening, the other month, they really they saw people coming to their platform, and that's exciting. And I think that it's kind of like what we see now happening in crypto with exchanges and stuff like this. Yeah. There's a lot going on, and moving towards open source, moving towards and moving away from sometimes the number one player can be important. It's part of that decentralization. And it's just refreshing that there are people who are fighting the good fight in crypto. You get the white hat hackers, you get the white hat hackers. See, I don't even know about these guys.
White hat hackers.
White hat hackers. You get
white hat,
wallet producers.
White hat.
White hat.
White hat hackers. Whole desire and purpose of what they're doing is to expose bad code to help companies. So it's instead of using it to threaten them or say, give us 100 ETH, otherwise we're going to hack you. Yeah. They say, they'll kind of call companies out. But
there's a lot of bounties involved.
Yeah, you can get a bounty for that as well.
You can get a bounty. And then, sometimes the payday is in finding the bug and then calling the company and be like, I found the bug. What the hell are you going to do about it? But, there are well-meaning people, but, at the end of the day, it is business, and people, have the right to interface with products and companies in the same way that we've been doing before the internet, the first waves of the internet, the second waves, third waves of the internet, and now wherever, we are now, and wherever we'll be in the future. The internet is a communication tool, and these technologies are now, we have these, I won't call it banking, but it's like a decentralized finance system that, however people feel about it, there are banks involved as far as on-ramp, off-ramp, this kind of thing. And so it's all much more connected than people kind of think.
Well, it's very connected, and we've seen that, I think, over the last few days
we
in
have,
the U.S.
Unfortunately. And
well, for everybody who doesn't know, it's important for us. Our live stream really is for people who are interested in learning more about crypto, and sometimes this can be a brand new world and environment. But over the last few days, the SEC has put out lawsuits against Binance,
Binance.us,
and Coinbase. And so those are two of the top two exchanges that people use to exchange crypto for their own U.S. dollars.
Not only to exchange it, but to buy it.
Yeah, to buy it.
And to off-ramp it to banks.
Yes. And so those lawsuits being announced by Gary Gensler, who's the head of the SEC, has been really not great for the crypto community in the sense of people trying to figure out like, okay, well, so if I'm in the US, what does this mean for me, especially if my exchange is in question? And so there's going to be a lot of other podcasts and people who are much smarter than the two
Yeah.
of us and who will have insight
We'll have
about
to
this.
watch some of those and
We're gonna watch
report
them
back.
tomorrow. I'll try to get a good list together of
Yeah.
people who are like really examining the
That's a
situation.
good idea.
And sometimes those lists are Twitter threads.
Yeah.
And so on Twitter, you can do a post and then comment under that post, comment under that post. You end up making this thing called a thread. But I find like I get a lot of my good info from trustworthy threads from these like great profiles. So I'll see if I can get a list together, retweet that out as my own thread or something. We can share it
Yeah.
tomorrow on the show. But
That's good.
it just as a basics, we couldn't sort of do our NFT DAO crypto stream without kind of acknowledging that that has happened. And so
Yeah.
people in the US at this point are not sure what's going to happen. But
Well, people in crypto in general aren't sure what's going to happen
yeah,
because
and
it's
been
not
really
even just
unfortunate.
it's not just even citizens of the United States. Obviously, U.S. citizens have probably the most regulatory environment currently. I mean, I guess that can be debated as far as like China and stuff like that goes, but for the most part, the U.S. is
Highly regulated, but
driving
it's not,
down that road.
No, but it's unregulated. This is what the craziest part is for me. It's like, but and I will say like regulation's fine. Like we did an interview in NFT Paris with the Minister of Tech, Jean-Noel Barrot, and he is it Jean-Noel Barrot? Yes, it is, Mr. Barrot. Monsieur Barrot. He was incredible because he in France talks about regulations having to be happening and
Sure.
That regulation actually inspires innovation because then rules are clear. Everyone knows the rules, just follow the rules. Right now, what's happening in the US is there are no regulations. Everyone in the crypto community is like, please define something so we know like what we're doing is wrong or not. And right now with these lawsuits, it's almost like this like saying of like, okay, well, if you have been doing anything on Coinbase or Binance, you've been participating in something that isn't legal, but then that rule isn't anywhere. So it's very confusing. It's got to be hella confusing for anyone who's brand new to all this. And I really hope that the lawsuits themselves aren't enough to just scare you out of wanting to know what's going on.
Well, it makes it so that people are apprehensive for using the technology and learning about it, putting money into it as opposed to putting money someplace else.
You got your people on TV like Jim Cramer telling people to pull all of their money out of these things. I just would advise you guys, as we often do when we're telling you to do your own research, is really do that. Read about it. Don't make any rash decisions, but do whatever is going to make you comfortable. And of course, like always be wary of anyone that's trying to tell you what to do with your money. That's all I have to say about that. And of course, follow the rules when they are clearly stated to you. And we are just like in it, just like you guys watching this whole thing go down. And I will really try my best to get that thread together of some great things I've seen of how people are explaining this. I don't want to like do like a FUD thread.
Yeah.
A lot of people on crypto Twitter right now are very angry and upset, especially U.S. citizens. It's just a really difficult time. Imagine like putting your whole life, like going full time in on something and having a lot of uncertainty about if that's just going to be taken away from you or frozen one day. And so that's obviously scary for anybody. And we will be providing basic updates. Again, there's a lot of people out there who are able to really speak on this and who have more of an insight, politics wise, banking sector wise, and maybe we can actually get like someone like on our show to interview them and say like, okay, can you really like lay this out? Like we actually had this female lawyer that we met at VCon, and maybe that would be like the first perfect sort of time for her to kind of come on and talk to us about stuff. She does law and specifically does crypto law and helping companies set up. And we talk about this in our own industry often because of DAOs. Everyone's trying to figure out the best way to legally set up a DAO to protect everybody and just to make sure that it's not like this, like it's kind of like runs like a non-for-profit, especially if your DAO's like giving away all of the funds. And so it gets very fascinating, but maybe we have to dedicate a whole episode to that so we can really break it down and understand. I think it's really, really important. That's why having your KeepKey, like doing your research on ways to protect yourself and the funds that you are that are your funds.
Protect that Bitcoin, guys
Protect that Bitcoin.
and gals.
I got this like little, there's one of those little spider things on my freaking phone.
Uptoshi, you're going to be okay.
There's these like little Rio spiders that are just everywhere. And it's okay. I'm not terrified by that, but
They're just your little friends.
they're just my little friends. I've been getting great scenes of like, dude, like the birds that are circling here are just so fantastic.
We need to find the official name for those bat birds.
The little yellow, the bat ones.
Oh,
they look like Batman symbols.
Yeah.
Like they fly over you and it looks like the bat symbol. It's insane.
And they like float.
It's like a seagull mixed with a crow mixed with a bat.
mixed with like a stork.
Yeah. Well, this was good. I think it's good to end on, things that you could do to protect yourself. We do want to make sure that before the sun sets, we get over to the skate park so we can like complete this surprise that we're going to put out there for everybody. Again, follow us on Twitter. Our Twitters are both on top of our heads right now. No excuses, guys. And if you're someone really cool and you're in Brazil and you're not really into Twitter, but you're into Instagram, OTGWTF, TikTok, OTGWTF, LinkedIn, I think it's just Optoshi.
Nice.
Insta, did that. YouTube, YouTube, OTGWTF. If it's not just myself specifically or Sheffo, we're going to get Sheffo's Instagram up too, so he'll have a better one going. But OTGWTF is where you're going to find all of our stuff and where you guys can keep in touch with us like in real time while we're out doing these events and posting and meeting people and getting inspired by things that are nounish and things that are just in this world, like people, places, things, like which is nounish to me. Like that's why the people, places thing is so important to me because that is what a noun is. And when you ask people around the world what a noun is, they say it's a person, place, or thing.
Yeah.
And so we will always be sharing things that inspire us personally and things that are nounish. And that includes art, community, NFTs, DAOs, sub-DAOs, and all of these things that we kind of cover so often in this show. So we do want to make sure we get over there. Sheffo, you look just glowing in this light today. Do you have any last closing words? I'll bop it right over to you.
I really look forward to the conversations that we get to have every day. And I don't know exactly who that will be with and when and fully what about, but I know that there will be amazing opportunities and friendships created every day that we're here and other places around the world. And I just think that we are getting really good at that. And I think that, having the podcast to talk about that, give our new friends place to come, see us process it really and like chat and do all of that is a really cool kind of full loop system that we're creating. And I think that that's just really amazing. I enjoying the different sets. I think that's just been really visually interesting. I applaud us for taking all the stuff around the world and getting it to these places. We had a Uber show up in Sao Paulo, and it was like an Uber bag or something they call it. It's like means like I guess it's like one of the bigger ones, and like 2 suitcases fit in it, and there was still like 3 left. So we had to get a taxi van, and that worked out fine. But and it was like an hour to the airport. But overall, like it's just things like that, figuring things out, not getting frustrated, and really focusing on like what we're here to do and what we're here for in general, and that's to enjoy each other and to enjoy the world and make it a little bit more nounish every day.
Wow. Couldn't have said it better myself. Make it a little bit more nounish, you guys. Thank you so much for
We're gonna
helping
go do
us
that
do
right now.
that. We are going to go do that. We are live every Thursday, Friday, Saturday at some time. We're going to figure out how to say that in a better way. But
I like that.
as always, it's been amazing to be with you guys. And thank you so much for tuning in live. Thank you, chat. GN to all of you guys. And we will 100 see you tomorrow. Have a good day. Don't forget to follow